And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks Lads. Joined as always with my guy, Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson,
Sir,
aka Jake Rogers.
if I had shaved, it would be a little bit better. But
Catcher for the Detroit Tigers. Let's go.
yeah,
We got a fucking celebrity guest on the show.
that's what I need to be for Halloween next year. Get a Tigers jersey.
Yeah, just wear the fucking cap and just the stash, dude.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Good. No one will know who the fuck you are, though. They'll be like, dude, you're just a random
Yeah.
dude.
You're who?
Unless they know ball, then they'll know who you are.
Yeah, even then though, you're who?
Welcome everybody to the show. We are being brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ, straight to your mobile device. Use promo code Jord517. It's free to download, free to use. Track your bets, become a better Sharps app. We're here to talk some Major League Baseball free agency. Obviously some more updates that we got today, some more rumors, etc.
Oh damn!
What happened?
Jets just scored, and it's the mom's trip, and whoo-wee, there's some nice looking blonde moms up there.
Where for the Sharks?
No, for Winnipeg.
Is it in Winnipeg or in?
No, it's in San Jose.
Oh, okay.
But it's the mom's trip, so.
Oh, the players' moms.
They do a mom's trip and a dad's trip.
Okay.
So.
I was mad confused what you were talking about, but I was like, mom's trip.
Now, 3-3.
Interesting. All right. So let's talk some ball, man. Let's talk some baseball. So, obviously, first and foremost, the Baltimore Orioles, they signed. I'm gonna butcher his fucking name, bro. Hold on, let me pull it up before, so I don't actually completely.
Sugano.
Sugano.
Tomoyuki Sugano.
Sugano. 1 year, $13 million deal. Not a huge deal, but also not a small deal. Tomoyuki Sugano.
Mm-hmm.
Played for the Giants last year, the Yomiuri Giants of the MPB. He had a decent year. He had like a 1.51 ERA, pitched 153 innings.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, 167.
Vision. With this signing, what do you think about it, Ben? Do you think it what do you think it does in terms of the Orioles going into the next season?
I mean, I think it's a good signing. I know there's a big difference between what was the NPB?
Yeah,
the NPB and the MLB. But I mean, with his numbers from what we see last year, 24 starts, 15-3, 1.67 ERA. I'm showing 156 and 2/3 innings, or even 156 or 151. Struck out 111, only had 16 walks and only allowed 6 home runs. So that right there shows control. And I think that's something that you definitely need for, the professional pitcher there.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be definitely a little bit of time to work into the new system, but I mean, we've seen guys come from these Asian leagues and fit in very well. Yamamoto, Imanaga. So, like, I think
But we've
there will
also we've
probably,
also seen guys come from the MPB and struggle.
yeah,
You know, Fujikama
but
is a recent one. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it's not like these guys just come over and dominate. Like, and I would say this, dude. Like Shota Imanaga last year, his numbers in MPB, worried a lot of us as far as like the translation to MLB. He was much better in Major League Baseball than he was in MPB the previous year. So
yeah,
he's kind of an anomaly, right? But when you look at guys like what's his face Yamamoto Yoshi, and you look at guys like Yu Darvish, even going back to like Daisuke Matsuzaka, and like these guys, like these were like high strikeout swing and miss guys that were
mhm,
like surefire. Even Hideo Nomo back in the 90s, right? Like
yeah.
these were guys that struck out a lot of guys, and you knew that their stuff was gonna like at least translate to the major leagues in some form. I'm not sure about this guy, dude. I really I'm not sure, and he could be an absolute fucking bust. He could end up just being a fucking long
Well,
reliever. I don't know.
but for $13 million, that's okay. For a 1 year, what's 1 year, 13 million?
Yeah, I would have rather gone and got Nick Pavetta.
Yeah, but again, for 1 year, 13 million, that's not, and you can still go out and get there's still pitchers available to go in and fill those holes. And it might be, when they come into training camp and spring training, that they see what he really is like against major league, you know, batters, and pick somebody else up and turn him into a long reliever.
Yeah,
And at 13 million, that's not much. I mean, look at the numbers that these guys are getting.
yeah. No, I mean, like I get it in the sense of like that's what I'm saying. Like at the very least, like you only got him 1 year, so who the fuck knows after this 1 year? But whoa, what is that?
Hope you brought coffee.
Goddamn fucking ads, man. It's not a
Oh, yeah.
needle mover in my opinion at all.
Uh, no, but it does plug a hole.
It plugs a. I don't even know if it plugs a hole. To be honest, we'll see. It could just be you know, end up moving Albert Suarez in there. Like he could just be the Japanese version of Albert Suarez, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Definitely doesn't move the needle for me. But I look at the Orioles, and I'm like, okay, well, you got Grayson Rodriguez, you got Zach Eflin. Um, you're not going to get Kyle Bradish back until maybe the end of the year next year, next
Mhm.
season. Um,
You'll get Wells back at some point.
yeah, but Wells is good. He's a reliever in my opinion.
Okay.
But you go into next year and you're hoping that your offense kind of bounces back. You get Jordan Westberg back and for the whole season, and then obviously Jackson Holiday got his feet wet last year, and maybe something opens up in the middle of the season. Like let's say the Padres fall out of contention and maybe they're interested in moving Dylan Cease, right? Because
Mhm.
he's a free agent the following year, or something could open up. Maybe the Orioles make a move then, but I think as built right now, I don't think they're a World Series contender. I think they can contend for their division.
Yeah.
But I think they're a ways
They'll
away
contend
from,
for a playoff spot.
sure, for sure. But I don't think they're a contender for their division as built. But I'm not saying that like they can obviously make moves. I mean, there's still 2 months left of the offseason, right?
Yeah. They go out
And
and get a legit starter, and they can trade for one. I know a lot of
yeah,
teams aren't going to be that willing to trade for, their high leverage starting guys, but they can still get somebody.
And at the trade deadline, like who knows? Like
Yeah.
Mariners could fall out of playoff contention. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Mariners don't contend for the playoffs next year, given the fact that they haven't done anything with their offense this offseason.
Yep.
And
Well, I mean, their offense can't be that bad again 2 years in a row.
yeah, they can.
I know, but
That team stinks, dude.
yeah.
Team stinks.
Jesus. 2015 draft class, Connor McDavid, 349. The next closest is at 280.
Goals?
Yeah.
Damn.
70 goals behind him. Jesus. Yeah, so I mean, I think it was a good signing because it's low risk, high reward.
I wouldn't say it's
If they have
totally
to
low
eat his-
risk. They're giving him $13 million. I wouldn't say it's completely low risk.
That's not that much.
I mean, he would be like the fourth highest paid player on the team next year.
Well, that's because they got a bunch of young guys, but I mean, if you look at the grand scheme of things,
I mean, it's not like they're giving him fucking a Soto contract. It's only 1 year, but I mean, it's still like,
yeah, but he could be up in those 20 million area.
I feel like there's like other free agents, pitchers they could have gone and gotten for the
The
same
free
price.
agent pitcher market is so fucking high right now, and that's what scares me about Corbin.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're obviously not going to get Corbin.
Yeah.
Like, they've already established that, and
But
nor
yeah,
should they,
that's
dude.
why no, but that's why I'm saying it's a low risk. It's because you're not going out there and getting one of the highest paid pitchers, and
Well, they're probably going to put him at first base since they don't have a first baseman. Cody Bellinger, that is, because they lost. He's not an everyday player. He proved that last year.
right now Fangraphs has him slated in center.
Bellinger?
Yep.
Doubt it. Highly doubt it. Considering they have Jason Dominguez, like, where do you play Dominguez next year?
Left field.
Who do you play at first?
Ben Rice.
Fuck no, dude. Ben Rice was terrible last year.
I'm just telling you what the projected opening roster says.
There's no fucking way. They probably. So what? They have Judge where?
Judge
DH?
is in right.
Who's left field?
J-Dom.
That's fucking terrible. I don't make any fucking sense.
They're high on. Oh, Jets just scored. 4-3. Minute 13 left.
Nice.
Fucking Sharks. Yeah, they've got let's see, Ben Rice at first, Jazz at second, Volpe at short, and Cabrera at third. And then J-Dom, Judge, and Bellinger in the outfield, and then Stanton as their DH.
God, that's a shitty ass fucking lineup.
Yep.
It's a terrible fucking team. Good luck to the Yankees next year. That's all I could say about that. That's just not a very good team. I don't think they're relying heavily on pitching next year. Not only that, but they're relying on guys who haven't necessarily been able to stay healthy in their pitching rotation too. So that's another worry for the Yankees. Yeah, I mean the Bellinger trade. I mean we heard all offseason the Cubs were trying to move him. Basically ate his salary just to get something back, which tells you, which basically tells you the value Cody Bellinger has at this moment. So
yeah,
it's just
and 8.5 million of it too.
Yeah,
and then he does have an opt out after the season. So
it's a club opt out though, right?
That's a good question. Let's see.
Let me see. Oh no, it's a player. It's a player option for 25 million. I wonder if the Cubs are only eating this year of it.
No, it's 2.5 million this year, 2.5 next year.
So they're not even eating any of the salary basically. He's owed 27.5 million this year and 25 next year. So if they're only eating 2.5 million, they're basically
The
not
2.5, no, the 2.5 will either cover the contract buyout or go towards his $25 million salary.
Oh, okay. So they're not covering his salary this year.
2.5.
2.5 million.
Yeah.
Which covers his buyout next year.
No, they're covering 2.5 million this year and then 2.5 million next year, and it's either going to go to his buyout or to his salary.
So they're not covering his salary.
Am I like speaking gibberish over here?
No, because you said they're only covering 2.5 million this year. His salary is 27.5 million.
Yes, 2.5 million this year and 2.5 million
So
next year.
they're
for
only
a
covering
total of 5 million.
Yeah, so they're only covering 2.5 million of his salary this year.
This year, yes, but 5 million total
That's like
over the
nothing.
next 2 years.
That's like nothing.
Yeah, they're still going to owe him 25 million this year.
But the Yankees are paying it.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, the Cubs got to fucking steal then. If the Cubs aren't paying the 25 million, then they got to fucking steal.
The Cubs are paying 5 million.
Yeah,
over the next 2 years.
But they're not paying his salary. They're not paying $25 million.
Correct.
I can't even believe the Yankees would trade anything for Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, and then they got Petit.
That's actually a steal for the Cubs.
To get out of that salary, yeah.
Yeah.
And hope that he doesn't have a resurgence.
Fuck, I would have fucking just gave him up for a Pepsi machine, dude.
Yeah. Let's see. He's only 29.
Yeah, but I mean, he had like a decent year last year, and then he fell off, or I'm sorry, 2 years ago, and then fell off a fucking cliff at the end of the year, and then like he wasn't able to and then he was ass again last year. I don't know.
He's still bat 266 last year.
Yeah, with how many home runs?
18.
Yeah, it's like nothing, bro.
He had 26 the year before. 2023 was definitely his best year. Bat 307.
Yeah, but he bat like fucking less than 200 the final month of the season.
Yeah.
Like absolutely fell off a cliff. That's the thing with Cody Bellinger, dude, is he had like that MVP year because he was like, he just had like a scorching hot first half of the year where he was batting like 347. He had like fucking 25 dingers in the first half, and then he like fell off a cliff the second half of that year. And he just never has found the same form. He's a great defensive player though. He's a Gold Glove caliber first baseman, Gold Glove caliber center field. That's where the value is in his game, is that he could play high level defense in two positions, but he's not a great batter any longer.
Mm-hmm. He has his flashes, but that's it. He's definitely not someone you can rely on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he also turns into well, never mind.
Who knows how he'll fare with the short porch too. He could be a lot better.
Yeah. And also, like, I was gonna say, like, he's not gonna be the guy you turn to in
he wasn't
in New York,
Cubs
but
either.
with losing Soto, that kind of makes him more of a need to be a bat.
Yeah, because they have no protection for Judge.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that fares. All right, Major League Baseball also came out with a report today, basically saying that they think the uptick in Tommy John surgeries is due to pitchers A, throwing harder, and B, focusing more on like their stuff aka like spin rate, etc., like that. My first thoughts to it was no shit. Like
Yeah.
you didn't need to do a report for us to fucking know this.
I don't know. They got to spend their billions of dollars somehow.
Dude, I'm just like, bro, like what the we've been saying this. But
Yeah.
Ben, do you think the pitch clock, cuz like they didn't mention the pitch clock at all in the report. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of the pitch clock that they needed more data on that uh to really show whether that was part of it. And I do think it's part of it. Um I think the pitch clock is a huge aspect of why, these pitchers are getting hurt, because even a few seconds between each pitch makes a difference in the elasticity of your arm recovering.
Yeah.
And, to make them drop to, 15 seconds in between pitches, 18 seconds in between pitches, like, yeah, you're getting more pitches in a shorter amount of time with the high velocity, with the high spin rates. Like, yeah, that's gonna hurt their arms. And we've seen that uptick in the last 2 years because pitchers aren't used to this. And something else that, I mean, I'll stop there. I do want to bring up something else that the report said, but what are your thoughts on that, on the pitch clock?
Yeah, I think you make a good point with the elasticity and how a pitcher doesn't have like the same amount of time to recover from pitch to pitch to pitch. And but to be honest, that's something I didn't even think of until I saw someone mention it on Twitter earlier today, and then obviously hearing you, and we haven't talked about this at all. So hearing
We talked about it last year, and I've always been a proponent of that. This is why the pitch clock is why pitchers are hurting their arms.
Yeah, but I never thought about it like, they don't get the same amount of like recovery from pitch to pitch to pitch. I didn't think about it like that. You know what I mean? And it does make a ton of sense. And but at the end of the day, like I still think that the human arm isn't meant to throw 101 miles an hour with like 2,500 RPM spin rate and like 101 mile an hour sinkers and stuff. And like people are like, people are always like, oh, starters back in the day used to throw like 233 innings. Yeah, bro, they were throwing like 90 miles an hour, dude.
Yeah.
Like these dudes
and a fastball that didn't have any movement on it.
Any movement. Like, dude, nowadays all these dudes are throwing like 98, 99 with like movement. Like, of course they're going to fucking get hurt, or they are not going to be able to fucking pitch 233 innings. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we've been talking about relievers becoming so fucking important every single year as we move on. And like, we talked about this at the end of last year, Ben. Like, I mentioned that I think the future of baseball is having like a fucking 9-man bullpen that you just pitch guys 1 inning every other day, and fucking they go out there and throw as hard as they fucking can. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think the pitch clock does have something to do with it for sure. But I mean, at the end of the day, I just think that the end game of this is just that humans aren't meant to throw the way they're throwing right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the graphs for the uptick in. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Okay, I think it's right here. Yeah, the uptick in pitcher injuries per month, and how in March we're seeing over 25% of the injuries happening because they're not preparing well enough during the off season, and then you get this big uptick in spring training where like you're basically going from a cold arm to pitching every single day, hundreds of pitches a day, and like just tearing your arm up.
Yeah.
And so is there something that the MLB has to do within spring training to limit the number of pitches? Is it a program that the pitchers have to start a month before spring training to ramp their arms up so you don't get this cold to hot?
Well, that's why pitchers they report to spring training a month earlier than the rest of everybody else.
I think it's like 2 weeks now, but
It's like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. But I mean, even with them reporting earlier, you still see this huge uptick in injuries in,
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
February isn't close behind. February, well, I guess they report in February, so it's low. February starts at, for elbow injuries, it starts at like 7% in February and jumps up to 27% in March. For
Wow.
other throwing arm injury, it starts from 4 and jumps up to 21. Like
Wow.
that from February to March, you're seeing
Huge jump.
a quarter of the injuries that pitchers happen coming there.
Yeah.
You get another uptick in August where it's at like elbow injuries are 13%, other throwing arm injuries are at 15%, but that makes more sense to me because
Yeah.
that's where you're at the end of the season, you're pitching, young guys are pitching innings that they've never gotten to before. And if you're on a playoff bound team, you've got, older guys who are in the race trying to pitch harder and faster to win those games for your team.
Yeah, that
So
makes
that
sense.
that I'm not surprised of, but it's really the large numbers in March before our season even starts where these guys are getting injured.
Yeah, I mean that's where fucking like Bradish got hurt last year too.
Mm-hmm. There's got to be a better ramp up program. I mean, because we have the numbers, we have the data that that lowers this number down and gets pitchers in better condition before the season starts.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean maybe the answer is more off-season workouts.
Mhm.
It's like the only thing I can really think of.
Yeah. Or a different workout program for them to better pinpoint these areas that are causing problems to build those up for like preseason. So when they get back, it's not just, I was cold and my arm hurts now.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't. If I had the answers, bro, I'd be a fucking wealthy man, dude.
Yep.
I
So the training aspect, uh,
I think part of it too is on the teams themselves to, I mean, the players themselves to like do their
yeah,
own fucking training. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, this one athletic trainer said there used to be starting pitchers doing endurance runs, and now we're in the power short burst sprint type training, and that's changed. It's okay to train for sudden bursts of power and what I'd call anaerobic training. I always tell people that's fine, but you need a basis of aerobic capacity to do that. We do too much of this heavy lifting short burst power, and that's where I think we're missing it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's when they, go out and pitch 200 pitches at spring training, obviously not at your highest power, but your arm isn't prepared for that to
Yeah.
go out there and throw every day like they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like, I don't know.
Something has to be done because we're losing way too many pitchers early in the season, whether it's in spring training or it's in, the first month or two. And it really, especially with these guys making so much money,
Yeah.
like it can derail a team for the whole year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh shoot, man.
I did want to talk Corbin Burns too, because
Yeah.
This shit is getting out of control
Why do you think that?
because we now have teams. Giants are supposedly 8 years, 230, and Toronto, I think, is like 9 years, 245. And it's just like, what are we doing?
I mean,
This is a guy who's what, 31?
I think at this point the Blue Jays are trying whatever fucking is necessary to fucking sign a guy. You know what I mean? Like, they've tried all they can fucking do to sign guys, so now they're like willing to like severely overpay to get a guy.
Mhm.
I mean, I think
I guess
that's their only chance.
yeah, he's 30 right now. So 8 year deal, he'll be 38. 9 year deal, obviously 39. But for 230 to 240 million,
Yeah, I mean
like,
that's crazy to me, dude.
that's insane for a guy who's already been declining for 2 years.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
I just don't. I don't understand the thought process behind that. I mean, at this point, I'm wondering, like, do I even want him?
I mean, at that price, I would say no.
Yeah,
You know, I don't think that at
I
that price.
just think
he's
it's the
worth it.
term.
Yeah, the length of the contract, in my opinion, is more. And I remember this. I remember when Scherzer was a free agent. Remember when he was at Detroit and then he was a free agent and he ended up signing with Washington,
Mhm.
right? He was coming off the Cy Young award. And I remember, I forget who it was, dude, because this is like obviously like fucking 2012 at this point, dude.
Mhm.
But there was someone on sports radio that like was on the Dan Patrick show, and he was like, you know what, like, if I was an MLB owner and I'm going after a elite starting pitcher, like, I would offer him 2 years, like $100 million.
Mhm.
You know, pay him $50 million a year for 2 years and just be like, yo, I'm gonna give you $50 million a year for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because you just can't afford a long-term contract with a pitcher, dude, because there's no guarantee. Like, the odds of the pitcher making it to the end of the contract is so slim, Ben.
Mhm.
Is so slim, especially a guy like Corbin Burns, who's already declining, right? His numbers are declining the last 3 years. And now you want to
last year were better than the previous year.
his
but
base
yes.
numbers, not his whiff percentages down, his K percentages down. So, and again, dude, those are the two. Like, swing and miss is the most important thing for a pitcher because you're not relying on defense at that point. You're relying on your own stuff to get guys out, and that's the key to this game is getting guys out. If you can get guys out without relying on the ball being put in play, that is the most important thing in baseball, which is why high strikeout guys get paid the most, which is why Blake Snell got as much money as he got.
He actually had his best. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, no, his whiff percentage and K percentage is down the last 3 years.
He had the best in the league
For what?
and for WHIP not last year, but the year before.
I'm not talking about whip. I'm talking about whiff.
Oh, whiff rate. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
swing and miss. Because Corbin Burns, remember 3 years ago when he won the Cy Young, I think he walked like 2 guys the entire year. He had like the lowest walk percentage, and that's cool, dude.
He walked 34.
He had the lowest.
But yeah.
He had the lowest walk rate. It was like 1 or 2%. Something stupid low. And
12 strikeouts per 9.
yeah, and that's cool, dude. Like, and not letting guys get on bases is awesome, but getting guys out without having them put the ball in play is the most important thing as a pitcher.
Mhm.
So, am I willing to pay a guy that's 31 years old, 8 years, knowing his stuff's declining? I don't know, dude.
Yep.
Because then this guy is going to become fucking Chin-Ming Wang.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be relying on this guy to fucking get outs by your defense. And that's not always the best case scenario.
Yeah.
So it might be in the Giants' best interest to say, you know what? We'll pass and move on to next year when guys like Dylan Cease are available or Michael King's available. You know, like, there could be a lot better pitchers available next year in the starting pitching market.
Yeah.
And I think a team like the Blue Jays, I think at this point, like, they're kind of where the Giants were last year, Ben, where like the Giants had tried to get everybody, right, for the last couple of years. Well, the Blue Jays have kind of done the same thing the last couple of years as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're like missing out on everyone again, and they're kind of like, well, fuck, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, we're trying to sign everybody, but we can't. So now we're gonna have to go out and be like, all right, Corbin Burns, you're 31, we'll give you 9 years, dude. Like, just so you fucking sign with us, and we'll eat the last 5 years of that contract and just say fuck it.
Yep. Yeah, and then you've got, you know, your big bat, you know, potentially leaving next year too. So you're hoping that having that starting pitcher will
Entice
draw him
to stay.
in to stay.
Yep.
Like,
they're kind of last resort at this point, dude.
Yeah. At this point, I'm, you know, I don't know if I want Corbin. I mean, I'd love him at like a 5-year deal.
And also, I don't want to get into politics or anything, but the Canadian dollar is down significantly in the last year.
Yeah, 71 cents to our dollar.
Yeah, so like, if you're a player, right, you're getting paid in Canadian dollars if you're in Toronto. Are you willing, like, you obviously need to take more money because of the currency rate, right? So,
yeah, but then if you go into California, then you're getting taxed higher.
I mean, still though, 71 cents on a dollar, Ben, is it's a lot.
Yep. Those women will tell you about it.
Jesus Christ.
I think it's changed to 79 cents, but
Nah, I think it was like down today even more. It was like 73 cents this morning.
oh no, I'm saying the female to male.
Oh yeah. Shit.
Canadian, it's at 70. $1 were 70 cents.
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy, man.
Yep.
All right. Anything else, Ben?
Let's see. White Sox renamed their stadium to Half Rate Field.
They got a half-rate team, so it makes sense.
Exactly. No, it's Rate Field, but it should be half rate. Let's see. I don't think so. It's been pretty quiet.
It has been quiet. Has been. Santander, before the Bellinger trade, there was rumors Santander was going to sign with the Yankees. I don't know if that's going to be the case anymore. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on that front. But yeah, man. Oh, one thing. So the NBA ratings are down this year, Ben. They've been down last couple of years.
A lot this year, though, right?
Yeah, like significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts on why?
I mean, could it be the stupid mid-season tournament?
No,
Like they're just kind of looking for gimmicks at this point?
I feel like last year the midseason tournament kind of drew eyes to the game. I mean, I have my own opinion on why I think the NBA is declining. And my personal opinion is like the NBA blew up with our generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our generation grew up on, Michael Jordan, and then Shaquille
Brady, Iverson, Shaq, Kobe.
and then LeBron towards the end of it, and
Mhm.
and LeBron's kind of like the last dying star of the league, in my opinion. And not only that, but obviously our generation is less attracted to the younger stars of today, right? Like, because I mean, we're like 20 years removed from them. Like, we could be their fucking parents, basically. Like, we don't have anything in common with them, right? So, and I think a big part of the game is like the last decade, right? A lot of the players we grew up on have become media members, right? Like Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal,
Mhm.
Kendrick Perkins, Jalen Rose, etc., and Gilbert Arenas. And the NBA media, in my opinion, is the worst media in all of sports.
Hmm.
And the reason why is because the NBA media spends so much time trying to prop up their own era. They shit on today's game. And it's like, bro, you're covering today's game and you're shitting on it. Like, why does anyone want to watch it when you're just sitting there being like, these guys suck. This game is fucking terrible. Blah, blah, blah. Like, why is anybody going to want to tune in when you're shitting on your own game? You
Yeah.
never, ever hear NFL media or Major League Baseball media be like, oh, today's game is terrible.
Yeah, but I do see the letdown in a lot of these big picks that we've had over the last few years. I mean, there's probably one or two guys who have really come in and have lived up to their name. But we've seen a lot of guys, and those two I'd probably say, I mean, maybe three, Ja, but he's had his off-court issues, so he's not playing half the time, and now half the time he's not even going to dunk on his big plays. I'd put Ant-Man up there in guys who have lived up to his name. I'd put Wemby up there for guys who have lived up to his name. But then a lot of these other young guys just haven't done enough. I mean, I'm talking like Ivy, Cunningham, LaMelo, who injuries have helped that. Zion, like you had such big hype on these guys, and they've really just kind of disappointed.
I think objectively though, and like I'm somebody that A, grew up playing basketball, B, grew up absolutely fucking loving the game of basketball. I still do love the game of basketball. Objectively, right, everybody talks about like, well, I don't like the style of game today. Like, I don't like the way the game is played. But then they turn around, they're like, oh, I love college basketball. Well, college basketball is played exactly the same, except with less talent. So why do you really not like the NBA? Right? Because objectively speaking, I think the NBA, talent-wise, is the best it's ever been, from top to bottom. Because in the 90s, right, you had less teams, and B, your top-level talent was so much better than the lesser talent. Now you have teams that are, you have players that are so much better on rosters. Like, rosters nowadays go 12 deep. Rosters in the NBA back when we were kids went like 6 deep. They played like 6 guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so,
but the top in my mind was so much better than the top now.
but it's not, it's just because you're nostalgic to that period.
Yeah.
Right? Like Michael Jordan's my favorite player of all time, bro. Like, got his fucking autograph right behind me, got his picture right above me. Like, he's my favorite player, bro. He's my favorite player of all time. And in my opinion, he's the best player to ever play. But the problem is that our generation, the generation that grew up on the NBA when the NBA exploded, right? And a big part of,
always going to compare him.
we're always going to sit there. And the thing is, though, Ben, is we're going to tell our kids, oh, your fucking generation sucks, bro. Like, we had Michael Jordan, right? So, like, our generation is like, or I'm sorry, but not our generation, but the younger generation is like, I don't think they're as attracted to the game today as we were when we were kids. You know what I mean?
Could that also be because other sports are becoming more mainstream. Like
Yeah.
there's an evenality. I mean, you've got the uptick of hockey, which
I think
is
soccer is
still
also growing in the
so
U.S.
far
too,
below. Yep, soccer, football has always been high, but I think it's at one of its highest right
and
now.
even baseball is growing.
Baseball's growing. Yep, and I do think the lowering of the game time is helping that.
Yeah.
Dropping a half hour from the game is huge.
I also think another part of it too, Ben, is it's much cheaper to go to a baseball game than it is to go to a
Yes.
basketball game.
Basketball games are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So are football games though.
Yeah.
But
Well, the one thing football will always have going for them is A, there's not a lot of games.
yeah,
So every game is like super meaningful. And
Mhm.
B, it's like the best television experience. You know what I mean? Like everybody will watch football just because it's like once a week,
yeah,
right? Or nowadays it's like twice, 3 times a week. But basketball's on every day.
Yeah.
And but it's like again, this is just my opinion on why NBA is down, because people have like their opinions and they're like, well, like I said, they say that all the games it's not attractive today, but yet they still watch college basketball, and I'm like, bro, college basketball is the same, but with way worse players, dude. Like,
Yep.
what are we talking about here? And then they're like, oh, in 2020, like the politics turned me off. Well, I mean, the politics didn't turn you off on NFL, so
yeah, Yeah.
what's really the reason? You know what I mean? Like, and I think the reason is I just think, our generation was the generation that, that attracted the NBA and blew the NBA up. And now we've kind of, because myself included, like, I used to watch the NBA every fucking day. Like, you live with me, bro. Like, I watch the NBA fucking all the time, bro. And now I don't watch the NBA every day. I follow it, but like, I don't care for it as much as I once did. You know what I mean? Like, the players I grew up on are all basically gone except for LeBron. And LeBron's fucking old as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's an interesting conversation. And like the NBA is they're sitting here trying to figure out, like, okay, well, what do we do to bring eyes to our game? And like they're changing the All-Star game format this year, right? Because the All-Star game's been a joke.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's going to help. We'll see. I think the in-season tournament is a great idea, but I don't think anyone really cares for it, because it's like, okay, we're going to entice players and give them more money. It's like, well, I mean, these guys are already millionaires, dude.
Making a hell of a lot of money. Yeah.
Like, why don't you entice
Yeah.
the fans somehow?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why don't we give them a golden shot and you get a 4-point line, but you can only
Hey.
do it once per game, and
Hey, maybe bring the 4-point line in might do something. And some people have said, breaking the 3-point line so it doesn't go to the corners, because the corner three is like the easiest shot in basketball. So like the 3-point line ends at the baseline.
Mhm.
Some people have like brought that idea up. I don't know. I don't necessarily think the rules are going to change anything unless you allow hand checking, because I just think, again, I think the evolution of the athlete, I just think these guys are such better athletes than they were when we were kids, dude. I mean, these guys are like all, like, the average height in the NBA now is like 6'7".
Yeah.
And they're all fucking good shooters, good ball handlers. Like, back when we were kids, bro, like, if you were 6'7" and a good ball handler and a good shooter, you were Michael Jordan. Like, that's who you were, bro.
elite. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dudes that were 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", like, they just fucking grabbed rebounds and dunked the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting conversation, though, and seeing people's takes on it is very interesting. And none of us are right. You know what I mean? That's the great thing. None of us are right and none of us are wrong about the opinion. It's just we all have our own opinions on it.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Yep.
Anyways, let's get out of here. I gotta get up in the morning for a flight. And then we'll be back on Sunday. We'll be breaking down some more baseball and some more. Hopefully we'll have some more signings by Sunday, Ben.
Yeah. A little bit more news than just today.
Yeah, I keep thinking that every day we're gonna, like, more and more is gonna happen, but it's like just more stagnant and more stagnant.
Yep.
And I just have this feeling that the rest of these guys aren't gonna sign until like right before spring training, dude.
Wouldn't surprise me. No, we'll have a couple big names happen, and then you'll see just the constant trickle.
Yeah. It's also funny that you're wearing a Tigers hat and a Giants sweatshirt.
Yeah, I got my AL and NL.
I didn't even realize that till just now.
Yeah.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure to download the Sharps app, SHARPZ, straight to your mobile device. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download, free to use. Track your bets, become a better Sharps app. Follow us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Taproom_sports. Follow myself at Jordan Rules TSP. We'll be back on Sunday. Everybody have a very blessed week. For Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson, I'm Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks Lads. We're out of here. Peace.
Later.